In a crusade for assuring a protected future for women and girls, Nigeria has joined the world to mark the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence with an array of activities launched to keep alive the idea of making the country safer for the female gender. This year, the United Nations Women set out with its theme, Unite, Invest to Prevent Violence Against Women and Girls, which represents a commitment towards deploying greater resources in awareness, preventions and interventions in abuse against women and girls, a persistent danger. This year's observance runs from the 25th of November, the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, to December 10th, the International Human Rights Day. It is fitting that human rights marks the high point in the activities, especially for Nigeria, as this underlines the dire imperatives of greater advocacy for the rights of women and children in the country. One of the most potent advocacy subjects that can be used in confronting the gender-based violence menace is the Nigerian Child Rights Act. The Child Rights Act, enacted in 2003, aims to protect the rights and welfare of Nigerian children. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, over 50% of children in Nigeria experience some form of violence. This can include physical, emotional or sexual abuse, as well as neglect. The Child Rights Act provides a comprehensive framework for protecting children's rights in Nigeria. The Act recognizes the child's right to life, education, healthcare, non-discrimination, as well as other essential rights. The Act also establishes the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons to combat child trafficking and exploitation. The 16 days of activism against gender-based violence is a veritable opportunity to promote the Child Rights Act, with emphasis on how it relates to Nigerian girl children. In Nigeria, some progress has been recorded in implementing child rights in some states like Lagos, the FCT, and Bayelsa. However, many other states like Bauchi, Gombe, and Adamawa have failed to develop and adopt this means of protecting children, and violence against women and girls remains pervasive. Communities, NGOs, educational institutions, and family units have to get its constituents acquainted with the workings and implications of the Child Rights Act in order to increase awareness and actions that will ultimately remove the dangers of violence and abuse against female gender in Nigeria. This would be the most appropriate mechanism if we are to achieve the compelling charge of Nigeria's Minister for Women Affairs, who has passionately called for community actions. Such collective actions include reporting abusers to the authorities, challenging cultural practices that perpetuate gender inequalities, giving support to gender-based violence victims, teaching children values of gender equality, protecting children from exposure to violence and harmful content on the internet and social media, developing policies that prevent and deal with gender-based violence, among others. As observance of the 16 days of activism comes to a close on the 10th of December, let us renew our commitment to protecting children's rights, support initiatives that prevent violence against the girl child, educate ourselves and others about the importance of child rights, and demand accountability from our leaders to implement policies that develop children in order to create a safer and more just society for the girl child.